So, it's Far Out Facts here with the first video of the Alpha Centauri project. And right now we'll be talking about a quick description of this project. So this project is going to be about getting from Earth to Alpha Centauri and colonizing. So that would mean bringing food and supplies and everything there, and how you would get there, what it would take, and mostly the math behind it. So most of the numbers that we use will be ballpark estimates that will be used to make the equations that we'll make to figure out what's the best way. And a lot of this will be just making equations and figuring stuff out and finding solutions to common problems when traveling in space. But this will also be looking at what it takes to go to space. So like comparisons about maybe like how many lightning strikes it would take to get enough energy to go to space and to Alpha Centauri. So it's going to be a fun series. I'm thinking probably anywhere in the ballpark of 5 to 8 parts to it. And this part will also have goals, what we know about the project, and sort of the types of thrust, which it will be kicking off in the math part of this project. But there will also be a few quick physics explanations and other things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and that's it for brief description. Now we head into goals. Okay, so welcome to the goals part of this video. So these are the goals for the entire series, and they're pretty general and mostly guidelines for what the series will look like. So we will be, if you haven't already figured it out, looking at getting to Alpha Centauri. So that would be 4.367 light years away from Earth. And we will not using like actual real specific numbers that are like hundreds of decimal points. We will be using ballpark guesses to develop equations and learn about physics. And then that leads into the next one, which will be developing equations that we can use over and over again, and we can just plug in new numbers to make us understand how efficient some propellants are versus others. And we'll also try out different scenarios. So like whether or not we use hydrogen boosters or use like a solar sail or something like that. We'll try out those different scenarios, and that will help us with our understanding. And finally, the big overall goal is to figure out the best conditions to get to Alpha Centauri. What can we do to get there the fastest with the least cost, and a bunch of different ways. So those are the goals for the Alpha Centauri project. I'll see you in what we know. Okay, so welcome back, and now we have what we know about the Alpha Centauri project. So these are going to be the most general of general things about the Alpha Centauri project. Like the first one is what our target velocity is. So like depending on how fast we want to go, we'll have to pick a target velocity, which could be 1/5 the speed of light, 1/20th the speed of light, or even 1/100th of the speed of light. And that is a very important number that we need to figure out pretty quick into the project. So another important number is what is the speed of light, and it is 300,000 kilometers per second, which is insanely fast. And then one of the most important pieces of information is how far Alpha Centauri is actually away, which is 4.367 light years away. So that's how many years it takes light to travel from Earth to Alpha Centauri. And then a quick ballpark estimate for some of the money that'll go into it is it costs $10,000 to put a pound of anything into space, which is super expensive, and this project will cost billions, if not trillions, if not quadrillions of dollars. But, I mean, we would have another colony on another planet, making humans really hard to be extinct. So, those are all the knowns that are super general. There will be more when we get down to what we need to know for the equations and stuff. But next, we go into the types of thrust. Okay, so now we're going to look at what is going to push this rocket. So what forms of thrust are we going to use to propel our rocket ship all the way from Earth to Alpha Centauri? So some possible types of thrust could be like a hydrogen-oxygen mix booster that's used in current rockets, and that would be what would be used to get everything into space before we actually shoot it off towards Alpha Centauri. To propel towards Alpha Centauri, we could use like a solar sail or an EM drive or an ion thruster or some of those more experimental things, as well as we could also use a hydrogen booster. Or we also might be able to use a solid fuel rocket, and that may be more efficient, cheaper, and we'll see which of these is the best for each scenario in time, speed, and how much it costs. So that's what we're looking at for the types of thrust, and I want to thank you for watching this video and look forward to part 2 of the Alpha Centauri project. Far Out Facts signing out. Have a good day, guys.